2 sacred steps, 4 sacred steps, 1 recreational step. This allows the mind that is still a part of the heart in this world, that is in separation and duality, to begin to make form and balance between the various concepts that come into motivation and discipline. But it's still bonded in this root-centric world that still demands much of our aware time to be a part of this functionary reality that has rules, that demands it upon us. 1 second, I must mute my muter. I have so many things to occupy myself. All right. These demands come in forms of subtle domination of the will to create self-motivation, to use self-discipline and your own opportune timing, so that the allowing of the process is the transforming of the footsteps in your individual sacred journey. I want you to think deep about your journey and remember from whence you came. For this journey is about the fetus in the womb. There, in the fetus of the womb, you can discover and use the sanctuary of all souls, to understand the 12 common labels that aspects understand. These labels are words in English format that have both myth and definition and common colloquial tongue behind them. What I'm asking you is to use your genius meditation teaching state to integrate words into spirit, into the journey, so charting your course opens the window of opportunity in I am now time to have even greater co-creation and the ability to journey in the mind, heart, and spirit unified as the I am now. Find your vision. You have done the heart meditations. You have seen and felt your own experience. What next is left in your journey that isn't instant gratification? What is left? See the great massive lake that is your environment, the ocean of your journeying, for know that is your sacred process. To make sacred, to emblazon in all the language and spirit forms that you can, that this is my sacred place and space, my divine connection in equal co-creation with all forms of life. You are your own sacred master, self-illuminated, for you have taught yourself lessons to get here. You've shared your words with yourself and others. Now are you ready for the inner journey, to let go of the common colloquial connection and begin the journey into telepathy? I'm challenging many of you now, because it'll be through your knowingness and your ability through to teach yourself, through your knowingness to have change of perspective and understand perspective of others, and to not to fall to polarity and perspectives that change moment to moment. Bond with your inner teachings. Remember what you have already learned. Tell your story to the fire. Densify your spirit form with your own story and your own sacred rituals. Stand before Grandfather Sun and emanate spiritual photosynthesis, standing high in the end times of revelation, so the sun may activate every part of your cellular and spiritual being manifest now as this photonic being of light in your 2 legs. Bring that deep into your core. Feed your very synapses and neurons of the sympathetic and parasympathetic. The patriarchal system, the matriarchal system can come into equal co-creation and not domination and suppression. Allow your ancient master, your self-illuminated version of yourself you were grown with, to be present, to be emblazoned in your energy field, so opportunity of equal co-creation may come to your way. Say your sacred words as you begin the next part of the sacred journey. For now the next journey, and the next journey, and the next journey begins, if you should choose to take it to the next level. So those callers that I may be calling in a moment, are you ready to take it to the next level? Many of you might not even be listening in. You're filling your coffee up, but all the other people out there are knowing. Are we going to ask a question? Are we really going to put aside our own personal choices and ask something that's for the bigger world, for the source incarnate selves out there? Living in your own unity with all of the concepts Disallow suppression so you can transform it into creation. Allow regression to be transformed into inspiration. Allow depression to be transformed into equal co-creation. Allow all emotional concepts to go through their transforming antithesis and opposite. For here is where we achieve the ultimate balance of giving and receiving energy. Balance your energy books. Here, recharge at this very cellular core, the being that you are. Connect into the inner self-illuminated being, knowing full well you have made this moment sacred. And your purpose in this mission is to find what it takes within you to allow this into your heart, to allow this into your blood, to allow this into your marrow, to allow this into your brain and into your sympathetic and parasympathetic, to begin to bring every aspect of moment where you are looking for co-creation with a faith and bonded in your knowingness. It is ever present in this moment. It is love from the frequency of your own self-illuminated master, waiting for you to acknowledge it and make it a part of your inner sacred journey. And then the next journey begins, and the next journey begins, and the next journey begins, asking you, what is your limits? What will it take for you to get to the undiscovered country of your spirit so that you can once again be a free consciousness explorer, not limited by the rules of this world? Regenerate your heart space. Regenerate your wisdom. Regenerate your soul frequency. Can you dream again? So many of you crave the super dream moment, but you can't be present in your dream. You are a witness in third person. Or those moments that you are in the dream, you cannot remember it right after you awaken, for so much of your energy is siphoned to other distractions and points of view. Regeneration of your dream space is your journey into your own heart. It will also determine how much of your interconnectivity you can regenerate by giving yourself the options to say, I'm healing my dream world. I'm taking an active process of using my genius to discover what my interconnectivity into my dream world really is. Have you spent the time in sacred practice, in knowingness? Have you been complacent or disregarding the greater teachings? Only you know that deep inside your process. Have you done your internal and external dialogue? Declared your boundaries to your wisdom? Declared your source frequency to allow changes within the inner frequencies of the mighty now? Showing your interconnectivity through your heart and dream space, through your wisdom. That is the challenge of any journey. And when you choose to be on your personal sovereign prayer grounds of interconnectivity, it is up to you to begin the process. Connecting to the I am being that was born as a heart in the fetus in the mother's womb. This is the temple of the I am self. It is where all versions of you that have danced in the shadows and patterns of the temple of the chosen I am, now to see the 7 previous and the 7 future generations of teachers. That of the present now is the super technology interconnected with the 7 future generations of yourself, waiting for you, the I am being of now, to make choices and actions that become solidified so that the future can make choices and actions that become solidified to make an ancient future now real. How much repetition before illumination will it take for you? How much inner fortitude will it require to regenerate your inner process? For it is in the internal fortitude that thrive to live here in the now, so that we can make inner peace journeys, inner creative journeys, or spiritual journeys to the outer universes. It requires us to have that internal fortitude, that spice of life, that understanding, The balance is a part of our way. That presence is a required action in yourself. If you want to be a spiritual being that is connected to faith, knowing that you're more than you've heard, read, or studied, it is our choice at any moment in time to make compassion and expectation something that no longer has to be made with choice. Compassion is innate and emotional. Expectation compassion is innate and emotional. Expectation is innate, though we can change the negative habitual habit patterns and cycles of that process so no harm is caused, disunifying our life path. By surrendering our frequency to balance itself, to presence, to faith, and the action and choices that we make in the now, by doing that, we become the integrity of ourself, the I am unity being in the macro and micro moment of the now. Who knows? I can chart my course based on how balanced I am, how present I am, how much I am in equal co-creation with my faith, knowing that action turns knowledge into wisdom, and that each action has a choice behind it of compassion or expectation, and I can eliminate compassion and expectation from frequencies of non-choice and create choice in it by changing the cycle, by surrounding the most basic parts of myself, the I am unity being of the now, who is a part of the we are. This is charting your course. And the next level here is understanding your window of opportunity. For you have just completed a unique moment, and before that another unique moment. You have had hundreds of unique moments this day, and yet you are not able to see the window of opportunity to enjoy the mystical, to thrive in the mystical, to live in the mystical life daily, to moment, instead of week to week, year to year, month to month. You can come to the mystical experience with full knowledge and wisdom and the understanding of the co-creative choices in the moments of the now, so that we can begin our ascension process into no-time beings who no longer need to adhere to Roman numeral det time, but heart space time in this hyper-frequency of now. Give yourself the gift, and I'll see you in the dream world, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children and sentient beings of all ages and all eras of history. Ha-ha! Alrighty, that was a special one. Special. I want to thank everyone for listening to my impassioned speech. All right, we're going to take our first caller.
Okay, our first caller is Sue from Georgia.
Sue from Georgia, are you there?
Yes.
How are you doing today, Sue?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm excited. Opportunity to talk to you.
Yes. Were you able to hear the opening speech that I had?
Yes.
Did you have any comments on what you heard?
Not comment, I admire you.
Yeah. So how?
I admire you to do this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do that because that's my special ability to make motivational
Right.
speeches that connect people so that they can get out of complacency or laziness. Most people mistake what complacency and laziness really is. So what kind of questions do you have today?
Uh, I just want you to uh, read my, just like you say all that, you don't want to hear, but let's, yeah, read my galactic history, and what should I do next?
Okay. What year were you born?
1948.
All right. So before I touch on any galactic history, you have to acknowledge that you've got a tremendous amount of pain in your body frequency, chronic pain that's really altering your energy. Did you hurt your back and your hips some time ago?
Oh, I don't know. I heard them, but sometimes I might sit too long or something. I get like a cramp or something, but not really accident. I don't have any accident.
No. Are you taking painkillers or aspirin regularly to hold your back pain away, maybe?
No. I never take any medication though. But recently, I think last year I have some like a stomach ulcer. So doctor give me some pill to cut down on the access. That's only one thing I take. But my whole life, I never take any painkiller or anything.
So
And I don't
you're
think I
never
have
your
some
whole
more.
life. That's what I thought. You're actually living with a lot of pain and you're ignoring it. So that's something you have to actually look at. You've gone so long without knowing that the pain cannot be there by having something like an anti-inflammatory. At times when you're getting swelled up, you've been living with it. Do you have children?
Yeah, I have children. I have three of them.
Yeah.
Two boy and one girl. But they all
Conference
grow up now.
locked.
Yeah, so during your births, you did some damage to your lower pelvis. And all of your fascia in your lower back and your lower pelvis are way, way, way too tight. I think that's causing a lot of your stomach issues. I think it's really, really important that you get some body work done. It would be remiss for me not to say anything when I look at someone that, 25% of all of your daily energy is just to cover up pain that you're in. Physical pain and spiritual emotional pain. I mean, we've all had stuff go wrong in our lives, and this isn't to say that you're a wreck. You're not a wreck. You're just not looking at it. And that one day it might jump up on you because it is manifesting as denial of pain right now.
Oh, I don't even know because actually my physical, I don't feel any pain at all.
Yeah, I know you don't. But it's been there for like 20 years. When did you have your last kid?
What they mean?
Yeah, what year was your last child born?
Oh, I think he born the younger one 1977
Yeah.
and
So,
December 29, my younger son.
yeah. So
Yeah, I would like you to add
there is
between him and
there is where you did damage to your body during the birth.
Conference unlocked.
Yeah. It's really important that you look at healing your body from your birth traumas. Okay?
oh,
So what's revealed in your galactic history are hundreds of other birth traumas. So the first part is I go back to 1860, and there's a series of lives. You're living in Native America after the Trail of Tears and some of the really nasty stuff that went on there, and you would be died as a child or right in childbirth quite a few times. So the entire era of the 1860s or 1830s to the 1880s, you died in childbirth. And that was something your soul had to resolve as karma before it could have a really basic normal life like what you're trying to have this lifetime. The last lifetime you were human would have been really 1900 to about 1919 and died in World War I on the German side, which a lot of them died in the trenches there. But that's what got you out of the reincarnation system. You had taken care of all the birthing issues, resolved a lot of the negative karma that were in your soul family history. I go back to even more ancient era, let's say 22 to 2600 BC. This is where you're living in, it looks like Chile, and you are a boat maker, but not for the open ocean, for like rivers and lakes. And you were a specialized boat maker who could make a boat that was meant for a ceremonial burning or fire or passing on of ancestral wisdom. A lot of times they would make these boats that had all this magical incantations in them, and they'd set them in the river with no person on them, and the boat would be taken out to the tides, to the water naturally, and that was the great offering of the ancestral spirits to the ocean things. And you were very, very good at creating these unique style of boats that could go down the rivers. So you have a lot of ceremonial expression behind you there. As I go further back, about 28,000 years ago, this is where the focus of your soul was trying to disentangle from the really nasty frequencies that are out there, the ones that wanted total domination and total war, and you wanted to make sure that you could have future lifetimes without that. But the set of choices the soul family made was moving away from this world, and you wanted to stay. So a significant portion of your soul family moved away from this world, and you had to make whole new sets of friends and a whole new era of soul family friends and a whole new era of light that was going to be very uncertain. And this lifetime for you reflects that original choice of having to move into a new soul family, because that's what's coming now. Tremendous volumes of people are going to be moving on to the next expression, and new volumes of people are going to be coming in. You know, we're going to going from billions of people on the world to trillions of people on the world. And there will not be an issue with space or frequencies of fighting between us, because everyone will have their own unique bubble of reality that's separate than everyone else's, and yet can still cross over based off of the shared reality rules.
So what my journey now in the lifetime?
Can you say that again?
What in my journey for this lifetime?
What is your journey for this lifetime? It's to reclaim the torch of shamanhood, to once again wield weather magic, to control the rain and the wind, not in a negative format, but to make sure the crops are nurtured and the plants are bound, and those beings that live with it, to make great healing offerings to the land, to clear out negative spaces, to be a shaman for hire if you should choose to do that. Practicer of ancestral balancing of magic. That's what you came to do. But that isn't your only option. There's an infinite amount of things to you. That's just what your soul is saying. If you had the greatest focus within that you could manage and maintain, that the universe has completely paved that golden brick for you to do it, if you should choose to get out of your own way.
Oh, I know this lifetime I have a lot of mythical happen to me all the time, but before I didn't know that it's called mythical. I just, everybody just like this, but sometimes I talk to people, they don't have that kind of support that I do.
It's happening to you because it's trying to show you how ancient of a being you are and how big of choices that you have. The choice is being responsible to your awareness and nothing more. Once you allow greatness into your awareness, are you choosing to be an impeccable being and not step on the journeys of others, but to share your journey in equal co-creation so that you can be a teacher of the moment of now?
I would love to. So I think when I listen to you, I would like to heal myself and heal others. That's the first thing in my mind. I can do that, but I know I can do that. But
I know you can do it too. The only thing stopping you is a video camera and somebody with the technical skills of recording yourself trying to do it until you get good at it. And go back and watch yourself. No matter what your little programs, I don't look right, the wrong earrings. Accessorize yourself. Make yourself look great when you sit in front of that camera. Grab one of your children to run the camera, okay? So you don't have to worry about turning it on and off. So all you have to do is turn on the skill.
okay.
What's it going to take? What's it going to take for you to sit in front of a camera, okay? Dressed up and doing the skill. Confidence. Confidence. That's all it takes is confidence.
Right. But in front of camera, I think I have confidence. My whole life I'm in front of the people all the time.
I know.
I don't have problem with dress up and inform because I go up with all the surrounding, with all the business.
Okay.
Go
See,
around business.
there are states of our mind. Just because it's recorded doesn't mean anyone's going to see it. Does it? There are little mind tricks you can play on yourself to get over the little red light looking at you saying, this is recorded. Big deal. You know how many recordings I erase? You know how many takes that I do on products that I'm like, blah, 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 and throw them out, next, start over. You're going to make those mistakes. Save a list of the good ones and make your outtakes. My producer Robert's doing that to me, where I've the crazy little things that happen during shows.
Oh, Andrew, I have some question there. I just thought about in my mind.
So what's your question?
Oh, oh, okay. Paul, so okay. I think last year, a few years ago, I always saw when I look at the sky, I see all the color on the sky, but not like a car, very very bright sky. But I
Uh-huh.
see the color of the chocolate color, all kind of color. Sometimes they just appear to me, and nobody can see it, and only me.
Yes, because that's a frequency only you can tune into. That's again, there are certain people that have that energy on all the time, and you can see that energy, but you just don't see it very often because it's rare in your neighborhood. And when you run across this guy with that certain color as an aura only you can see, it's saying that it's a high frequency being that you're able to see. But there are other forms of that vision that are blocked from you because you don't see that many people. What I can say is find a very busy mall or street and sit your butt down and just start watching people and turn on the skill and try to get to see as many colors of people as you can. One of the things that I used to do is I would wait to the malls. This was back when malls were the thing, and I'd go into the food court before or after or before Christmas when thousands of people were in there, and I'd sit in the food court with a cup of coffee and a notebook, and my goal was to write 20 to 25 pages in a span of 2 or 3 hours, and the whole distraction of everything out there was my focus or my counter focus. When I wanted to practice turning off all the thousands of people, I wrote and wrote and wrote my prayer revocations, my system, my form of mental focus. And then when I got out of that, I transferred my mental focus to the thousands of people around me who were searching for gifts for their loved ones. Looking at this person or that person, seeing the DNA skin suit for what it is, how their mechanical features were on or off. You got to get out there and see people in action so that those other triggers of lights you can see.
Oh, okay. So I just go to the mall to look at the people, but I have to talk to them, just look at them and how they
No.
react.
Just look and take notes.
Take note how they react.
No, what their color is, what their colors are not. You're looking
Color
at
of the
them. You're looking
Oh,
at them with
okay.
the special sight.
For color, but I see the tree. I see the sun on the tree. The white
Yep.
on another tree, and the sky, the color of the sky. The chakra color of the sky and the
Uh-huh.
tree. I never look at human, but now I will. When you tell me like that, I will pay more attention.
There you
Pay attention to
go.
more.
That's what you got to do. Start paying more attention to what the humans are doing because they have special light for you to see too.
Right. That's why sometimes I think I say, my high self or something try to tell me something in the sky, but why I don't see anything because I don't pay attention enough. You're right.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't like to pay attention to the people. Normally, my life, because I only focus on whatever I have to do, my business or something like that, my family. That's what I focus on. I never look at anybody else, like a really pay attention. If they not connect anything with me, I don't even pay attention to the people. Now I do. Thank you for you telling me. Now I'm to pay
You're
more
welcome.
attention when I go to more because I have nothing to do
Yeah.
now. I can have more time to sit there and watching people. The
Yeah.
color. I see the color. Can I
Exactly.
even tell them or can give them or something about that color if I
And
see
write it
it.
down. The key is writing it down. Don't let it all be in your mind. That's a game the ego wants to play that you think you can remember it all. You can't. Write it down.
Okay, yeah, write
Write your
it
thought.
down.
And after a while, you're going to create a style. This and this makes this and this. This pattern make another form of understanding.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Get an artistic color wheel that's got the 7 colors on it. And then you
Right.
can get a more advanced color wheel that's got the different shades in between colors. When I was practicing my own version of aura training for Reiki, that's what I would do. I had an artist's color wheel that would just fit on top of my hand, and I would use that as my color comparison process. And when I was working, I worked on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patients. Whether it was at the hospice or I did that work as part of my journey and practice into understanding what healing is and isn't. It didn't matter if I was sitting with a person that was dying or at the burn victim unit. Cancer kids, knowing each time just sitting there and talking to them is all they needed. Then all the unseen work that's done from holding space for a person who's going through something horrendous in their life.
I see.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for telling me. Yeah, I will pay more attention to the people surrounding or at the mall and put it down. I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, darling, I've got to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on to our next caller, Mr. Robert.
Okay, Andrew, our next caller is an unknown caller from an unknown caller line.
Unknown caller from unknown land. Are you there?
Well, it's me,
And your name is unknown?
Andre.
Yeah. What is your name and where you're calling from?
I'm from Canada. My name is Andre.
Hello. How are you doing today, Andre?
Oh my gosh, I got it.
Yes, you did. You made it through the wheel of callers.
Yes, I'm an artist too. Hey, I'm so glad. I want to say some things. I've watched you. I know your work because I've listened every video of you interviewed by Lance White.
Uh-huh.
I saw also the one to be interviewed by Veronica Keane.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I like what you're doing, and it resonated on me. I don't know a question, but what can I say? I'm going to make my headphone.
Okay.
And I want you just to make a scan a bit about me. I'm years old. I'm an artist. I participate to many Mayan ceremony in Guatemala because I visited Guatemala for the last 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
starting in 2010. And also when I come back on my area when I 17 years ago, I participate to a sweat lodge with shamans from my area.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I'm on my good path, but I always have sometimes not sure. I not confidence, but I always move forward and try. Never mind if I have not a lot of money. Never mind, I continue my path. So, this is it.
Okay. What year were you born?
I'm born in Canada, East Coast.
What-
Maria, named village called Maria.
What year?
And 55. It was the years of the hospital was open.
All right. So let me tune into you a second here. So there are some things that I can't say on radio.
Okay.
There are times when people that are shamanic journeyers have stories that are meant just for the individual. They're not everything that is consumable. And there are parts of your personal private journey that come up right away in the Akashic record that I don't think it's appropriate for all. But what I will say when it comes to scanning of your frequency, you're on the right path, but there's a part of you that absolutely has to value your education in spirit more than you do now. It is the single thing that is holding you back. That when you learn to value your skill as an exchange of energy that supports you so that there never is a frequency of worry of abundance again, so that you can be achieving the unlimited point of view with the ceremonies that you create personally for yourself, the types of healings that you create, you can be far more complete in what you do. But this requires you to put up a sign that says open for business in the seen and the unseen world. And this is one of your big fears, to be a paid for shaman, For you have grown through many years and seen the paid-for shamans go down the path of self-gratification. Right?
Yeah.
You've seen the greats fall from making their first dollar, and you've seen the idiots rise to make the most. Okay? And you're afraid you might just be another one of those one-hit wonder shamans.
Yes. Afraid is in the fear is always there, but I always try to go forward just to be happy. Happiness is my goal always.
Right. But happiness does relate to material wealth and abundance.
No, that's true.
Okay?
I'm a roommate. I decided to stay with another who have all furniture. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a family. I didn't have all furniture. I just don't want this because when I travel, I don't know if it's really if I decide to do that. If I decide to not have nothing, is because I want to travel, or it's like try to escape. I don't know.
You're doing both. You're trying to travel and escaping while traveling.
Yes, I think it's so.
If you want to be the traveling shaman, all the traveling shamans still have a home and a storehouse of stuff to go back to. They don't just throw it all away and say, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but what? Yes.
They have a whole village to come back to. Okay, a village of supporters.
When I was in Guatemala, I saw many people who tried to be shaman, like the man. Uh-huh. But for me, I'm an observer. I never want to be a shaman like they do.
But you are. But you are a shaman. Just by observing them, you became one.
I am, yes, I am. I mean, we can name it shaman, but I am somewhere. Yeah.
Well, you called from unknown land, so you are the unknown shaman. That's your moniker. All right?
I called through the hangout.
Exactly. So you got to see yourself and evaluate yourself for the years of education that you've done. You know, I think you need to put a menu of services together that says what you will have as part of menu of services if people want to come to you and have work done. Whatever it is. Even if it's helping them on their spiritual golf game.
Golf game?
You'd be surprised how many people want me to come and help them with their Akashic records with their golf game. Serious.
I just have a golf card yesterday.
Okay. People that want me to come out, you know, for a whole day of golf with them just so they could talk Akashic records and golf. Okay? You'd be surprised. Okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
As well as all the other things that people want to do and have that unique experience. I open myself up to that because I know what I can do. And the people that listen to me regularly also get what I can do. It's the uniqueness of the unlimited point of view and the mystical experiences that it can create. I got other people that want me to come and just sit into all their business meetings when they're making big deals and negotiations. That happens all the time. Or the soccer mom with 4 kids that spent, 5 months saving up, and I'm going to give them the best session that they can have because I feel the frustration, the stretching of their life force, giving. And all I got to do is give a few extra minutes and that spice of energy that person can take and run with. You have that in you. You have that motivating ability. You just got to practice it.
Yes, I observe myself when I arrive with the roommate. I decide to stay more than now it's 2 years. I stay with him, and he's a good guy. He's a kind of helper. He helped a lot of people around him, but he was completely exhausted when I arrived with something on the bubble. Mm-hmm. And after 2 years together, because he's what he is, he do what he eat what he wants. He do what he wants, and me, I do my own stuff. We are not a couple. He's a roommate. And many things change. In 2 years, it's incredible. The relation has changed, and it's better and better.
Now it's time for you to set down roots. Multidimensional roots. Yeah. to get off the traveling road, no longer being the traveling shaman as your expression that you previously defined it as. The ancestors are asking you to use their magic for the good of the people.
Thank you. Yes, okay.
Okay? I look at you and I see all these ancestors that have all these carts that are always trying to catch up to you. And every time the ancestors think they catch up to you with the cart of goodies, you're already gone to the next town. Set up shop with a business sign that says open for business, seen and unseen.
Okay, but I'm an artist.
Well, being an artiste really doesn't pay the bills, does it?
No.
No.
But
You know how many
I
millions
pay
of
my
people are
bills.
facing that one? You know how many millions of people have an art degree and can't make a dime?
I know.
Okay? Do you know how many people have come to me? They've spent 16 years in art school, and that's all they do, and they've never had a real job. Art.
Me,
And I look at them and I go, you're
I am,
obsessed with art, with artism and artisticness. Artisticness
Me,
is your
I'm
own
an-
creation.
I'm an autodidact, and I have never studied in art, in visual art, but it's my always do that, and I believe on what I'm doing, and I've never make for money, but I sold something, I sell sometime, but it's important to not do this just for make money or to sell. It's just doing because I make a research.
Or you change your point of view, and what you have learned as decades of knowledge and wisdom is respected knowledge and wisdom in a world that doesn't store this knowledge and wisdom anymore, that needs the record keepers to step forward and say open for business, an impeccable personality that will bring authentic truth. That is the fifth world of peace. That is what the Rainbow Warriors are. The masters who are ready to leave the mountains, the hermits who no longer are hermits, to share their skill and their spirit, their mettle to survive, thrive in a world that rejects who they are.
Yeah.
That's right. Have I lit a fire up under your butt yet? Okay, we're just smoldering right now, one little ember.
It's close to 11 in the night here, so. Well, I'm going to réfléchir. I'm going to thinking of it. But I'm glad to connect to you.
So before you were talking about you listened to the Galactic History series. What was it about that series that grabbed you?
It's about how incredible you can share an information is not possible to understand, but at the same time, I just listen and it seems like I understand what he says. I'm sure what he says is true, and what can I do with what he say? I don't know. I just listen because I think something enter in me. Something is I got it. So
It completed a circuit of knowingness that wasn't complete before. It's like the little details of the grand story, and at the end the story didn't make sense because the grand details were missing. The Galactic History is the process of affirmation and confirmation. That's what the presentation was. People have already had the experiences of what I was talking about, but they didn't know how or why. That's in their mind. Some of them people had that experience when they were 6 or 7, or dreams when they were a teenager. And 45 years later, there's this kid on YouTube talking about what was happening in their dreams when they were 6. And they know it was real in their dreams. But how does this kid, 30 years later, speak it out loud on camera? Fluidly, flawlessly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's the nature of what I do.
Correct.
Right? Even in this show right now, what makes this show any different than Galactic History with Lance White?
It's the same channel.
Same channel, Actually, it's tens of thousands of more channels. For each and every person that has found one word has added the totality of their expression into a soul code. For what I am is an amassment of soul codes and freely sharing all the soul codes with each and every word I have. That's the authentic affirmation confirmation process each person goes through. When their race amnesia is challenged and something comes through the haze and smoke of the great ever after of amnesia, and all of a sudden they put the patterns together, that's the exchange. From dream to real, real to dream once again, reminding us that we are more than we've heard, read, or studied.
Awake after awake.
That, one of the original concepts before Lance did the interview, there was going to be an open round table in which people were going to be asking me questions for the galactic history, and I may end up doing that again. It's just when you do, as many shows as I have done, 600 something, 700 shows in 5 years now. I've answered a lot of questions. The same question has been asked to me hundreds and hundreds of times, but new audiences are constantly coming in.
I remember when they changed, when Lance take a break and the other guys arrive and question you.
Yep.
It was another dynamic. And it was interesting, very interesting.
Because that was about discernment. He was asking the hard questions. How do you know what you're saying is true? Because what I'm saying has only affirmation and confirmation in your minds. There is nothing to prove it. The same thing with conspiracy theory. There's nothing to change the global narrative out there. No proof or facts makes a difference to the global narrative. Thereby, it's all heart-space discernment. And that's why millions and millions of people have found me. That's why I had a regular daily show with 300,000 listeners in it, simulcast to 22 radio stations. Do I miss those days? No, I don't. Do I want to recreate it? Not at that level. I want a group that wants to study, that I can teach at a higher layer just from shows like this, so that you can go and practice on your own. And when those of you are ready to step up to your mantle of responsibility, you can come and take the course, 6-week online course that'll leapfrog you into new layers of knowingness. And I'm still going to do these shows. I may take breaks here and there, but they're for the continuing education of people. It'll still be you, the audience, that spreads the links and changes the interaction and dialogue that's here. As I said before, I'm no different than I was in galactic history. Everything I've said in galactic history, I've said today, and everything I've said today is in galactic history. They're just not the same word order. I spoke of the responsibility that you have to manifesting and unmanifesting your body as part of galactic history. The same thing applies today. You must be responsible to your level of awareness to have greater skill sets of manifestation, learning about stepping on the journeys of others, knowing how to have the common moral code of do no harm to any sentient kind, practiced and proven in your impeccable frequency, where you don't have a sliding moral code. Many, many people out there don't realize they have a subtly mild, scalable moral code that easily can be moved left or right of what they believe in simply by a commercial, an advertisement on TV.
Oh, yes. And
to all the people out there, all the callers in the future call room that are listening to this, you have an opportunity, just like in galactic history, to ask, just as Lance were, to ask a question about specifically Lemuria or Atlantis that wasn't you-centric, but is an altruistic question that can create new forms of affirmation and confirmation. I've put out 1,500 hours of material. I'm going to put out another 1,500 hours of material. And all the people out there that's stuck in mediocrity, you either like it or you don't. All the drive-by listeners, you're here to practice your daily, weekly, monthly. Here's a smorgasbord of stuff for you to binge on during your busy life. Hey, when you're ready to take a vacation from the busy life and explore self-illumination, here's all the tools, tips, and techniques for you. to make your life great, or to ask the great question, to discover some new ideology or philosophy that is waiting to be revealed.
Yeah. My question I put on the chat is, what can you tell on the next until the end of the years, the 21 of September? Can you talk about the 21 of September and the 21 of December of this year?
Sure, nothing's going to happen.
Good, nothing.
Nothing. Trump will still be in office. Everything will still be the same. The global narrative won't change. The dollar may be trading higher against the yen, or the Australian dollar may get a little better. The Canadian may go up or down, but that's just fluctuations of a belief system.
Okay.
I have been saying since 2013, since December 2012, sorry, as a giant marathon, nothing's going to happen tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. How many more times do I got to say it before you believe that nothing's going to happen tomorrow versus the bull crap that some other fear porner is selling, that it's coming tomorrow?
Well,
nothing will happen until you make it happen in your bubble of reality. Clearing your own personal frequency, engaging your spiritual hygiene, and taking on a form of clarity to chart your own spiritual course, just like you have as a shaman, traveling shaman, who's now going to set roots down and go, man, I've spent so much time studying this. I'm a master and didn't even know it.
Yeah, nothing happened until I start to create on my bubble. Yeah. Okay.
So, what other question did you want to ask?
I don't know. No more.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in.
Oh, thank you to you too.
All right. So, let me take a question from the chat room. We got a lot of people laughing at some of the callers. There's one that says unknown caller is a great inspiration. Yes, there we go. Question, are there extra higher dimensional beings watching this video from the other side? Yes, and I've stated that hundreds of shows, that we are like a giant reality show to them. And or from the ancient futures, yes, all of that and beyond. Even other eras of light are tuning into this galactic sitcom known as Earth. As the Earth turns. And there's thousands of sub-channels in it. Some that like the Mexican theme, some that like the European theme, some that like the Hollow Earth theme, some that like the conspiracy theme, and those that like the global narrative. Those are the observers that we get to communicate to. They are here right now. There's 25 billion watching. One show that I did with Teal Swan had 100 billion listening. How do I prove that to you? Feel it. Go feel that show. Feel these shows. I do my ceremony before the show. I populate the spiritual courts of equity. I bring in every line of creation for every show since the dawn of my creation. That was my choice. To multidimensionally think with my built-in spiritual genius and strategist saying, I'm in linear time and I'm a no-time being. Oh, look at all these things that can plan in no time, that instantly manifest in time. Because I have my own precognitive workforce. I know that's tripping some of you out there. So yes, there's a huge audience here. Thanks for that, Eric. So wouldn't it be hilarious if they started to interdimensionally answer? Well, that did happen, actually. And if Andre Hodge is in the chat room, he can give a link to a video in which a time-traveling species found me in a local broadcast and tried to tune into me in time through another caller. Quite unique at that moment. So that's actually happened quite a few times. And sometimes they do answer. They answer in very unique ways. Very unique ways. Sometimes it's hilarious comedy, and other times it's just an exercise in gremlins trying to prevent us from communicating. It all depends on the process. So here's another one from Eric. Altruism in the questioning about Lemuria Atlantis. I'm curious about Hyperborea. I am curious about the higher seventh density civilizations. Well, Hyperborea was not a seventh density civilization. It was a fourth and three quarters density civilization. And it wasn't actually an imprinted civilization on this world. It was a giant spaceship that landed like a 6.5 kilometer spaceship that just landed and put out 5.5 million people, and then they suddenly took over an area. But they bought that territory, just like you could go buy a house in 50 acres. Earth was in the Wild West era then. When they came around, literally you could buy a plot of land and then go kill who was ever on it and put your own DNA farm on it. And that was about in 16, 15, 14 million years ago, right around the second rise fall of Atlantis, where we were taking other lower density species, offering surface space to them if they offered their certain percentage or tithe of their soul incarnatings to defending this planet as soldiers, warriors, healers, thinkers, and mathematicians, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Let's take the next caller. I caught Andre testing me. Yes.
Okay, next caller is going to be Santo.
Santo from Queensland. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Andrew. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too. So, what did you want to talk about today?
So much, but it's difficult to kind of summarize or to put, any particular thought into a package that you can kind of exchange or converse about. But generally, I like the concepts you bring about galactic sitcoms and another day that nothing happens, yet so much has happened. I spoke with you a couple of years ago, and yes, every day is another day that nothing happens, yet every day is another day that so much is happening.
And in every day, there's an infinite potential for infinite wisdom and experience and an infinite moment-to-moment experience. The only thing that isn't changing is the global narrative. That's the only caveat to the statement that I've said year after year after year. The global narrative can only be changed by earthquakes, hurricanes, and wars. And that has been like that for thousands of years. That's why so many light workers hit the glass ceiling and can't go anymore, can't change the global narrative, no matter how strong you become.
Yes, it's sad, but true.
Right.
Andrew, I've got a question, and it's very interesting how, timing works, because I've been very comfortable with the flow of things for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yet 3 days ago in Australia here, it was Father's Day, and one of my daughters, we went away with her and her husband and child, and for a couple of days, and on Father's Day itself, an explosive exchange happened, which took me absolutely by force. And the question I have is that the subject matter was a deep-seated subject matter that related to my ex, which was my ex-partner from 20 years ago. And my son had been living with us. He's in the Caribbean now as a musical director, and he'd been spent a couple of months with us. And I knew he didn't have the most cordial relationships with his mum, but I wasn't interfering. And a conversation came up about him, and I said the words, "But your mum is playing a game." And that was the trigger that made my daughter explode. And I know there was a lot of trauma from the past, of the breakup, and she wants to be supportive of both of us. I know that. But it's like there's an entity that just comes and grabs you by the throat. And I felt as though I was being censored. So I continued to say what I felt I was able to say, or, I was just saying, yes, I truthfully say, I think this is the way I see what happened. The question is in times like that, do you censor yourself in order to not feed negativity, or are these things like pimples that just have to erupt and you have to do the best to heal after
How do you
go
know?
through?
How do you know when to pop a pimple?
Well, it depends how much pus and how ugly it is. I don't
No,
know.
every time you should put antibiotic on it first, like a big old glob of it before you pop anything. That's actually the worst thing to do. As soon as you see a little bit of white at all, you put antibiotic on, and that's for everyone that's out there, silver gel, whatever. For you, in that moment where you sensed the trigger, you decided to move forward with your energy that clearly was stepping into trigger land of that other person. And that's what created the force of reciprocation back. You went forward into the trigger that was already telling you not to. Now, it's not to say that this person wasn't censoring you. They were censoring you. But just because they're censoring you doesn't mean in that moment you needed to bring that up.
Yes, it feels like a trauma that goes back generations.
Let me give you a little better definition. So what was going on in the daughter at that moment was all of the angry words the mother said to the daughter. And then when the daughter was asleep and the mother was in her room cursing you in her mind, the daughter heard that too, because the daughter is a deeply empathic child, as are every child.
Yes.
So you're dealing with two forms of trauma. Now, I experience this in my private sessions all the time, where somebody comes and their parents have been divorced and, they try to make a relationship with the other side. No matter what it is, there's still a stigma or inner shame, blame, or guilt, or external shame, blame, and guilt imprinted by one or the other parent or both parents. So you are aware. Next time, don't push it, but take note of it so you can privately talk to her and say, I would like to put some antibiotic on this pimple first before I pop it.
Yes, yes. It seems to be that combination of factors that create the perfect storm that triggers, like it's either Christmas Day kind of syndrome or Father's Day, and it's very difficult to separate what the major causal factor for the trigger is. But when it erupts, like you say, it's one of those things that just happens.
Yep.
It's very sad. And so you want to be able to do your best to be truthful, authentic, yet minimize anger or, sort of these kind of encounters that leave quite deep trauma. And you don't want to keep repeating these scenarios that feel very truthful, yet are not easily dealt with.
So let me help you with another layer here. The daughter has their own spiritual contracts and issues with you, separate of the togetherness or breakupness of the relationship that you had before before the breakup. So it was already a spiritual contract that she would be born, that you guys would separate, you would find somebody else. So as long as she's investing authentic time with you, no matter what the blow up of is, it's still about reaching unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness.
That's
on
what
both
it feels
sides.
like.
On both sides. Okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because the greater choice here is altruism for both of you, because when you do work it out, you guys are unstoppable as a love creating being, as family connected as beings.
Yes, it's not an easy path. I don't think it is for any of us, feeling, emotional beings.
Right.
It's quite the task. It took me 2 days to re-find my balance, and I know she's not ready yet. And I'll wait for her to be ready to do, like you say, a path of being able to sit down and have that conversation that doesn't do the damage, but have the conversation.
Why did it really take you 2 days?
It it took me out because it kind of repeated in a way of the trauma of the breakup, where I don't know, you feel like your heart's exploding, and when the trauma, when the incident happened, it really felt like a repeat cycle of time. So I wanted to get away from it, to not let it affect me the way it did. So I grabbed a box or something to go downstairs, put in the car. And just going down 2 flights of stairs, because we're down in a beautiful apartment right on the beach. So it's the ultimate paradox and contrast of everything that could be happening at the same time. And when I came up, I must have run out of breath because I put breakfast, and I must have been low. And as I got up, I couldn't. I went to start talking, and I collapsed. And I've never fainted in my life, and I just collapsed, and which kind of was not
All right. So
good thing.
how many times has this blow up happened before with this daughter?
With me, never. That was the hard part.
Okay. So
She's had one with my current partner, but with her, no, this was it.
so the key is that daughter has severely unhealed trauma, and when it let go on you and shocked you, it really shouldn't have. So there's something in your awareness that you have to look at how negative the breakup was and how it did affect that individual daughter. And because so much was said in that short period of time, and then so much was said in the unseen world that did the great spiritual trauma and damage to you, that actually caused you to lose balance and fall down. There was a deflating of some spiritual belief or ego inside you there, or a mass imprinting to take away something good that was a connection, or both.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that is kind of difficult when you're in that space of trauma. Having the discernment of knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't is very difficult because you're in it. So I've made so many revocations and written so many revocations, but I thought I'd cleared a lot of this trauma, and to be treated in that way, well, it was a surprise, but not a surprise, but a big surprise to faint, because I've never fainted, is really difficult to understand your own discerning qualities of confrontational moments. Because I think, oh yeah, I think I've got observational skills, but obviously there are agreements and other factors that just don't keep me grounded, or I don't keep my I am sense grounded, and suddenly I'm in the trauma. It's quite revealing, quite an
Well,
experience.
you got to realize you may have thought you cleared the trauma, but clearly you didn't. Look at how much it affected you.
Exactly, and it's just something that flabbergasts me sometimes, that I truly feel moments of absolute clarity and peace, and then I literally, my body shakes from the trauma that's there. I'm not fearful, or it's just affecting me. It's like at a cellular level, I feel it. And I've done the revocations, and I do the conscious things. And interestingly, about a month ago, you were in my dream. I don't know, we were on some sort of panel or something, and it really stuck with me, this dream. And I was trying to tell Jackie in the morning, but I couldn't unravel it. But this last month, there was a collection of incidents that were not my, what I feel, my usual balanced, happy, pleasant self, which can be quite, quite throw me off. So it did throw me off, and that's why it took 2 days to kind of get back, and I feel more myself again now.
Okay.
And that's why I was trying to understand the building of discernment, because I think it's something that's quite common when you have these traumas in families, and
Are you
it's
using
easy.
Are you using a headset?
No, I'm using just the microphone on the computer. Is it distorted?
Okay. And we're getting a lot of distortion in your connection.
Yeah, probably because I'm on a fairly poor connection on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, it happens. I tried working through the frequency. There's still a lot of distortion in you. What I would like for you to do, are you still on vacation, or is that all said and done?
No, that's all said and done. We were back 2 days ago.
Okay. So what I would like for you to do is you got to get out in public, and you've got to stir up your inner emotions, and you've got to trigger your empathic systems to reveal more inner triggers in you. You got to find the taxi driver that somehow has a trigger to piss you off, so that you can start uncovering some deeper stones underneath the surface of sand you've been exploring around your body, mind, and soul. You got to reinvigorate the mission of the I Am Self, which is to experience the ever-present moment of now, and to have process and integration time, new levels of process and integration, so that the next level of shock doesn't hurt so much. Because you've popped the pimple now. You didn't put antibiotic on it first and address it like a person like you really should have.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, probably my personality getting in the way too of being a little bit too direct.
Yeah. Well, Santo, I've got to move on to the next caller. Thank you so much for calling in.
Great to talk to you again, Andrew, and thank you.
You're welcome, man, and good luck on your journey.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, our next caller is Kate from Sydney.
Kate from Sydney, Australia. Are you there?
Oops. Hello. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Kate. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good.
Okay. So how did you find out about me?
Okay, probably 2 years ago, my sister was like right into your shows and she got me onto you.
Ah, that Kate. Now I know who you are. So, what kind of questions do you have today?
Okay, I'd like to, I'll start from when I was born. I'm not sure if you're able to help me with this or not, but I'll give it a go. I was a premature baby. I was born about a month too early, and I was through C-section.
Uh-huh.
So how has that basically affected me? Like, say, like spiritually.
It set up a life that would have a tremendous amount of personal spiritual issues at gaining and maintaining your own confidence, stopping people from suppressing you. When you were born early like that, that means your original birth date was no longer a potential, and early C-section birth was a karmic choice you took to make sure you would have to get to meet the people you wanted to meet, but at the suffering of potency of spirit until such a time you could claim all your power back from your birth traumas, which was discovering divine femininity and make it a part of your daily spiritual journey into freeing the points of view that are patriarchal and matriarchal to create philosophies and ideologies that can be taught and retaught, learned and relearned to the variety of women that would come through your life. You're meant to be a divine power, sacred feminine rainbow warrior, well, who got muted early on okay, who lost the power of the voice early on and had to struggle and claw for it where everyone else got it naturally in some spots.
Okay.
It did other things to you. It would make childbirth for yourself very hard, as well as your menstrual cycles would have been tremendously confusing to the spiritual you. The machine wasn't working right. Why the hell is it doing this?
Wow.
But that's the price of coming in at the right frequency of time. A price you chose to take because you've done it before. Would you have rather
Okay,
been born with one leg?
No.
Okay. And that was your choice. Deformity
Yes.
or early childbirth?
Okay. Okay, in like what ways am I able to heal this at the moment? Would like the heart meditation be the best way to go about
The
this?
sanctuary of all souls. It is because it's 4 techniques combined in one. Reconnecting to the heart space, the fetus in the heart. Reconnecting and rejuvenating the dream space, which is I am dreaming now. The prayer grounds of interconnectivity. And the fortitude of strength to be a born being. Those would be the 4 techniques that you should learn to master at a daily process. You could do one a day. The Sanctuary of Souls is all about those 4 things. Reconnecting you to the moment of birth to feel that striving energy of, I'm here, damn it. You didn't kick me out, and I got all my arms and legs.
Definitely.
Okay?
Beautiful.
That is what's going to reinvigorate you. That's where they're going to set the path into overdrive. There's an unlimited amount of energy for you to focus on and transfer from the baby I am self to the adult I am now. And it just takes awareness to an infinite being who went through a birth and came out early and said, there's all these gifts that I'll leave for her if she just chooses to come back to the moment of birth in equal co-creation, non-competition, non-hierarchical order, and the golden brick roadway into healing the birth traumas is there.
Beautiful. Okay. Another thing I'd like to ask is about relationships. Is there anything with any of my past relationships that I might be able to heal?
I'm joking. No, nothing.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
joking. I'm joking. All right. I'm joking. We all have issues from past relationships. The big question is, are you ready for the next relationship?
Okay.
Are you really ready? Or you still have a
Yes.
lot to heal on all those other ones?
I'd say I would probably have to heal on a few of probably one of my sisters.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'd be ready to move on and form other relationships out there.
Okay. What does that new relationship look like?
I'd say supportive, like someone being there who's very supportive, lots of love, being able to share experiences.
All right. Engage your genius and get out of the cliched answer, light worker answer.
Okay.
And no more cliches for your answers. You're too smart to use cliches. Because that's the reason they're not coming, because you're still using the cliched, non-genius answer.
Okay.
Answer with passion. You want a man that sweeps you up off your feet, knows your victories and defeats, is willing to learn who you are, has a unique sense of non-competition with you.
Uh-huh.
One that stares in the windows of your souls and your eyes and says, I love you at all the points. Shares little, special names with you that mean something to you and you two alone. You want romance.
Definitely.
You want the guy out of the Danielle Steele novels. You want Fabio to pick you up and take you with your hair waving in the wind.
Yeah, sounds wonderful.
Okay? Fairy
Yeah.
tale, isn't it?
Definitely.
Or is it real? There's millions of those fairy tale stories that have come real. Millions of them. Are you
So
ready to
true.
accept you could have your own fairy tale story? Your own knight in shining armor who jumps off a horse and rescues you from a stop sign accident?
Yeah, sounds good.
Can you
Or else
believe in
I'll
yourself?
turn around and I might rescue him.
Okay.
Even.
Yeah, you might rescue. You're the knight jumping off the horse this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Why not?
Okay. You got to dream differently. You got to think differently.
Definitely.
This calls for a whole new vision board.
Okay.
Okay? One that says, I'm the knight on the horse, or he's the knight on the horse. Get out of the cliched answers of, I like long walks in the park and going to the beach and sharing ideas about crystals. If I hear that cliched answer again, I want to reach out and go, come on, engage your genius. How many times I hear people, I like walks in the park and this and that. I'm like, oh, come on. Be passionate with your dream man board. Even if you got to pick up a Danielle Steele novel to find a paragraph that gets your juices going. So on that board, every time you see it, it reminds you. Okay?
Yep.
You know, women got to engage those creative juices differently than men. That says, this is not what I'm hunting for. This is what I'm emanating, looking for a signature frequency match. That I'm creating the spiritual pheromones at the blood level that retract the idiots and attract the beauty. Repel the idiots.
Excellent.
Like a skunk scent.
So, what a good way to manifest this person would be possibly like meditation.
That's a cliched answer.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
no.
And pubs and bars are another cliched answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? The non-cliched answer here is, what are you truly ready to invest in to meet Mr. Right or Mr. Right now? Because right now, you have like in your energy field, at least 10 selections that would be good for Mr. Right now. They may not be Mr. Next month or next year, but there is a Mr. Right now. But something in you is not allowing you to have Mr. Right now in the I am present moment of the now. There is some part of you that is held back from every relationship.
Okay.
Do you see this?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What are you holding back? What is that core piece of you that you've held back in every relationship? Because if you can't put that on the vision board, you'll never get it.
Okay.
Hard answer, isn't it? Hard answer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's like, you've got tape on your skin and you're about to pull a bunch of hair off. Okay, it's not a Brazilian wax. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm probably holding back being more open within my relationships. I guess. Oh,
Is there a stiff
I
British
guess-
upper lip somewhere in you?
I'd say probably a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess also some of the males I've also been with, they've I guess it's like a bit of a pattern. They've been like real womanizers.
Narcissists.
Yeah.
So, what happens when a woman finds narcissists when they're looking for true love?
They basically close off, I guess.
They project onto their person narcissism and that you aren't worthy, which triggers your birth trauma to suppress yourself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay? The narcissists or the pigs. That's kind of been the theme that you got there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Were they Adonis good looking?
No, not necessarily.
No, they weren't. So why did you settle for it?
I guess it was more their personality about them, and yeah. So it wasn't so much their looks, but it was more so personality.
Okay. What about a narcissist personality attracted you? I've got my crowbar out deep here. We're lifting up the mummy's crypt here. Come on. We're into the inner core here. What you're holding back?
Okay.
You're holding back for true love.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're still waiting for the prince to jump off the horse and show you what true love is as an experience and not a process. True love flashes in our face. Oftentimes it's 50% lust and 50% love. And your lust to love ratio meter is off.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
True love requires input on both sides.
Absolutely.
A narcissist can only give you their point of view and never accept yours. A narcissist will never be responsible for the words they said in the past. You are always responsible for every word you said.
Definitely.
Okay? You were looking to heal them, too.
Yes.
To control them. How do you control a narcissist? Put a mirror in front of them. How often were you the metaphorical mirror for the narcissist, supporting and enabling the relationship?
Or I would say probably most of the time.
Okay. What was the hardest part about servicing a
Hardest
narcissist?
What's the hardest part of it? I guess probably the lies.
There you go.
Yeah. Lies and the stories.
Mm-hmm. And you just accepted them.
Yeah, absolutely. And other times I would then like confront him if I came across different things.
Mm-hmm. Now we're at some core truth here.
Yeah.
Now, can you see how your vision board has to change? There can be nothing on your vision board that's a cliche.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
If you want this Mr. Now to be in your ever-present moments of now, so you can experience authentic, true love, you got to break out of the cliches. Define what the hell you don't want. That's the hardest part about the vision board, is putting on there what you don't want. Okay?
Totally. Yes.
And then what you want has to be the authentic, non-cliched, signature frequency match. Where when you hug them, your foot goes up. Instantly, instinctively. Aren't those the best kind of hugs and kisses, when one person's foot goes up?
Absolutely.
Okay, everyone knows that. Everyone deserves that. The narcissist never foots go up, does it?
No.
No. Okay. That also means that your intimacy levels you were holding back on.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. That means when you were in the thick of intimacy, how much were you holding back?
Yeah, the brick wall was going up totally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's right, the brick wall. So now you got to take out your crowbar and take down the brick wall brick by brick. That's the other part of the vision board. What I got to heal in myself to become a signature frequency match for my dream Mr. Now, who can manifest right in front of me because you are a creating, masterful beingness with the ability to manifest in your reality. Are you going to accept your own created miracle?
Definitely.
Then that vision board has to be an artistic, non-cliched, spiritual essence of what the hell you want and what you don't want. Okay? So now let me ask you the next question where the mummy's crypt is open, we've taken the wrappings off, and now we're pulling the jewelry out from the inside here. Okay?
Yeah.
Your deep, 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 deep hidden peace. You want a sacred bonded mate who will practice spirituality with you, who'll be a flawless modifier of each other's frequency of love. You want to be able to have trust for him and you, that whatever situation you're in, your love is bonded and sacred. And you want to be able to flaunt it in the face of those that have no sacred relationship, so you can teach them the difference of perverted love and real love. That's the divine feminine warrior looking to be the divine feminine teacher.
Okay.
This wasn't what you expected it was going to be in this call today, was it?
No, definitely not. Well, it's beautiful. It's really lovely.
Okay. Is there another question that you want to ask?
Yes, I'd love to. Is there anything affecting me in my dream time when I'm like asleep at all?
What are you doing for a job now?
Okay, my work. I was doing boat deliveries for a while. I've kind of stopped doing that a little bit because that's like only part-time, so it's whenever the work comes through. It's been a little bit quiet at the moment.
Did you say boat delivery? B-O-A-T?
Yeah.
Driving
yes,
a big
boat.
driving a tractor trailer and delivering a boat?
Yes. Yeah. But it's more so it's not really on the trailer. It's out at sea.
Okay.
So like we're going like along the coastline and then delivering the boat.
Did you get your full Did you already got your full captaincy license?
No, not yet. I'm a deckhand.
Okay.
Yep.
How much training would it be for you to get your captaincy license?
Well, I've nearly got my sea time up. And then it's just a process to go from there. Just take a few courses and
Yeah, it's important that you do that. Do you have it
Okay.
at all within your monetary frequency of buying your own boat, even if it was like a 10-foot wooden skiff?
Yes, I'd love to.
It's
Absolutely.
absolutely imperative that you have a boat that you've named, that you've sailed once.
Okay.
Okay? It's
Yeah.
important, even if you got to go find a rowboat. All right? Christen it and put
Definitely.
it on ritual and ceremonial rowboat. Okay,
Beautiful.
there's an ancient part of you that just loves to be on the water. It's why it's driven you this lifetime.
Okay.
Make it a part of your spiritual exploration. And guess what? That's where you're going to find your Mr. Right Now. Your two boats are going to cross in the metaphorical waters, and you go, "Oh, my love, where have you been?"
Cool. There's also another thing I'd like to ask, and that would be, I've just recently purchased myself a Hermica diamond. And what's like, why do they only originate in New York area? And what are like some good uses for it?
Herkimer diamonds, that was basically why they're there. Well, that's the section of the earth that they needed to come out. There are Herkimer diamonds that come out of other places and actions, as well as ones that are made via hand. Diamonds are as fakeable as hand signatures. They're that good at creating diamonds, Herkimers, all that other, completely grown in a lab. Now, what are the advantages of using these things? It doesn't matter if they're grown in a lab or not. It's still got a spirit in it, a focus. It will still be the intent that you use, how you flow energy through it. In my personal opinion, Herkimer diamonds are some of the greatest tools to start with if you're learning the basics of spiritual hygiene. They are such a multi-tool of coping skills that are within inside them. Focus or fortress. Focus to heal yourself, or fortress to defend yourself. And but a small handful of Herkimer diamonds, a few $100s, can be a crystalline fortress around you if you learn to engage them correctly, based off of your belief and your placebo and your intent. Because those things have been manifested as a creature being that are in your hand or on your body as jewelry, or a part of your magical toolkit that can fortify your reality. Darling, this has been a great call. I've got to move on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Andrew. It was lovely talking with you.
Lovely talking with you too. All right, everyone, just to remind you, Living the Mystical Life Daily live event is coming up October 5th through the 8th. Those of you that have already bought the course and have your tickets, you must register early. The amount of hotel rooms that are available that are set aside at a lower price for registering under Living the Mystical Life Daily, saving $130 every night, depending on the type of room that you're getting. You must sign up early. There's a limited amount of space. For all those people that are wanting to come to the event, please contact Debbie. There are some limited number of seats that might be available as we are reaching our max capacity, and then the type of film style that we're going to do. So Living the Mystical Life Daily, October 5th through the 8th. You go to the Andrew Bartz's website under the shop and under the online course. There you'll see you get the entire 6-week online course, the alchemy course, the Sequinox and Solstice course, 25 hours of teachings, all for $9.97 with 2 free tickets to come to the event. If you've been on the fence, take a chance. Take a chance at your own sacred discipline. Take a chance at practicing it. At this 4-day live event, it'll be like a boot camp. So if you've had the course and barely practiced it, or brand new to it, you will get an intensive of how to use it, so you can make your Living the Mystical Life daily. All right, do we have a winner today, Robert?
We do. And the winner's name is...
Drum roll.
Joyce Lavin.
Joyce Lavin, you are the winner. Please contact Debbie, and Debbie, please contact Joyce, and we shall see you at the live event. I want to thank everyone that's shown up to the show today. This coming Thursday, 11 to 1 Pacific time, will be Living the Mystical Life Daily webcast, where I will have a special teaching for those that are ready and aware for Living the Mystical Life Daily webcast. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll see you this Thursday.